first we have the handout. It's for the step-by-step guide that I made in a checklist format for the lab. This is for my illustrated presentation and technical demonstration for the LTEC 4121 Spring 2016 semester at the University of North Texas. So I printed this up and I made a pretty detailed list of just the basic steps of what we're performing. So up top here, after I did the brainstorming on the marker board, I have reminded the students of what we need for materials. So basically through here I have reminders and tips that go along with the steps and some basic things that we need to keep in mind. So that's the first step, or the first page, in case we need to come back and pause. There's the second page. Just hold it here for a second. And then the third page of my handout. So it's a 18-step process, and it's what we use to get through pulling a vacuum and the steps that we use to maintain safety. So basically, first I took my watch off because you don't want to snag your wrist on these units or anything. Then we got our safety glasses. You can use any kind pretty much as long as they're up to standard, and any kind of gloves will work. These are kind of the heavy duty rubber plastic ones, but cloth is fine too, or leather, whatever you prefer. And then now we have the manifold gauges and hoses that are on number 3. This is our low side suction, high side discharge, and this is our vacuum service line. So that'll hook up to whatever refrigerant we're taking out, or charging it with the nitrogen. So next on the list is the adjustable wrench. So I'll go back over here, and usually you want an 8 or 10 depending on the size of your unit. So no big deal, it's just adjustable. You can open and close it, no big deal. And then this is the Service King valve wrench. It has the part in there, but what you do is you just take it out. Stuck. So you take it out, and these are our service ports here. So our service port, it goes on top, and it fits on the connector to where it twists, but I'm not going to open it. And then these are where our hoses connect. So we have one on the low side and one on the high side. So it's the same thing here. The stem is just upside down, and it's pointing out there. And then next we have the vacuum pump itself, and this is for the outlet connection over there, and just the on and off switch right here. So this is a basic one. It's different than the one that I have in the video. It's not the one I'll be using, but basically as long as it operates and you know how to work it, it's fine. And then we'll have the micron gauge. It's over here. It's digital. It detects the microns, which is basically just the measurement of what's in our system, and it measures it by mercury vacuum. So that's what the HG is that we went over. And this is the T connection that connects between the micrometer and this hose here. So when we all have it hooked up, it'll work pretty well. And then the nitrogen bottle is what we'll be charging it with. So this is number 10 here, the stand. I just put it here so it can hold the gauges, or you can put the vacuum for the micron gauges on there. So this is our nitrogen. It's a pretty big bottle sitting on a dolly. It's chained for safety. And then this is the regulator that we're using. It's the Actrol. This is measured in increments of 50. So this is what goes into our system, and it detects here on the low side. So this is the pressure inside the bottle. Obviously it means that it is off. Both are reading 0, and here is the knob to turn it on. So left is open, right is closed. So you know, basically this is the back where the connection goes from our hoses from the nitrogen into the unit. So before we start, you look for a tag or something, it says, okay, it's filled with nitrogen. You need to know the specs of your operating system and be familiar with where everything's located. We have the compressor, filter, sight glass. Someone actually replaced this with a cap tube. So a cap tube is like a self-made metering device, and this is what a TXV metering device looks like. So it's the same thing, it's just for practicing on different units. So this is a little different. And then we have our accumulator reservoir and our condenser here, and our evaporator is underneath. And if you look, you can see the fans. So this will be stuff to keep in mind before we start our lab, and the supplies and equipment that we need. So we just need to make sure to always pay attention and take our time going through the steps and ask questions if you aren't familiar. So that is a quick preview. And then what we do is we practice on the small units. These are little refrigeration. They should have a tag. Here's they have part numbers and numbers that are for your unit. They identify the make and model and all that kind of stuff. And if you look here on the side, it says what is charged with 134A. So this is a small unit, and basically is what we transition to these residentials here. And they have all the tags on where the thermostat is, and our power hooks up here. These are 240 volt 80 amps, and then here is what we transition to our breaker. And also there's more tags and information on it, and it helps us to know what to use or not use in our system. So this is operating off 410A, and you see it signified right there. So this is our split system. This is what will go to our indoor furnace, and inside is the blower that blows out the top, but I don't have the cover off. So when you open that, there's all kinds of equipment inside of there. So what we do is, this is our power on and off, but it's not connected. So those are our fuses. Again, it has a panel on there with the information and the warnings and everything. This is our condenser unit. So this consists of our condenser, and you can see the compressor down in there. And here's another tag. It tells about how the contactor's in there, and the suction and discharge line. Suction's the big side. This, if you see the caps, this is what twists on and off, just like on our trainer that I showed you before, the other unit. This is our small discharge, and our large suction, it is a filter here, and it goes to the indoor. So typically on your house, a residential unit, this will be outside right here, your fan, and then this will be inside. Some people have it in the attic or in a designated area, sometime in the garage. But basically, that's how we practice on a small unit, because these might hold, 5 pounds of refrigeration or so, and it takes a lot more to actually evacuate and vacuum pump and then charge the system and stuff. So basically that's why you want to do it on a trainer, because it's a lot easier, faster, and it's a lot less space and refrigerant to deal with. Just in these lines here, it holds. So at all times, you got to make sure that you know your pressure, and you need to weigh your refrigerant if possible. And basically, that's how we transition from the trainer to an actual unit that's a full size. So it's the basic steps and processes of what we're going to do.